Hello my crafty friends and welcome to my YouTube channel Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. Happy Sunday. I hope you've been able to get some crafting done this weekend. It's a gorgeous weekend weather-wise here in the UK. So yes, it's all about trying to find that little bit of time when it's just right to get your crafting in. Now, this is my card for today. Isn't that beautiful? I've used an outline die, my echinacea die. I've used some extra leaves. I've not put a backing all the way on it, and then we've done some faux paper piecing. Can you see the shimmer? We have done some colouring through there with our alcohol pens to colour in that echinacea, put some shimmer over the top, made the background ourselves from white card, and just added in our inks. It's not even watercolour card, it's just regular stamping or multi-purpose card. So yeah, I think that is absolutely gorgeous. I've even taken all of these mats and layers from the mats and layers behind there, always thinking of that thriftiness, even though it's not Thrifty Thursday. I hope you like this. I'm going to show you now how it's made. I know quite a few of you have commented recently that you do enjoy seeing some of the inky backgrounds that I make rather. So I thought I'd have a go at making another one. Just getting some kitchen roll ready. So I have got two inks ready here. I've got a water reactive ink pad and also a pearlescent pigment ink pad, and yet whilst they're different types of ink pad, I can still get them to create a beautiful background. So I've got a small piece of card. I've cut this about 2 days ago, so I can't remember what size it is. It is 5 inches, I think 6.5 inches. Yes, 6.5 inches, 5 by 6.5. So this is the bit I start with. So my card bases end up as completely irregular sizes because I think, oh, I'd like this as the topper instead of working from the card base down, which perhaps might be an easier way to do it. I don't know. Okay, so let's have a go with this. I'm going to start with my green first because it's a bit paler. So I'm going to pop some green on here, pop that onto my mat. So I've just put it on my mat. Then I've got my misty bottle and I'm going to give it a good spray. I want this quite pale, so I'm quite happy to dilute it down, and I'm just going to pick up some of that ink just like that. Can you see? Very, very pale, very misty, but that's what I want. I don't want it to be overpowering. I just didn't want complete whiteness. If you don't like what you've got, you can always sort of dab and take a little bit of that off. Then you either let it dry or make it dry. I'm going to make it dry, so bear with me. So that's dry. Now I forgot to say, this is just regular multi-purpose card, stamping card, nothing particular. Now this is what I love. Now there was either, I don't know which it is, there was either a bit of orange left on there, or you almost start to see how the colours are made up. I think it's a bit of both actually. So you can see some of the orange coming out of the green, because like green is made up of blue and yellow, and you know, and all the colours that they put in there to get that particular shade of green. So I'm going in with next with the peach terracotta. Now I'm going to have to really sort of dilute this down because this is a pigment ink, and I'm just going to pick up little bits. Actually pick some up, Corrine, would be useful. Pop some on here. Again, just pick up what you want. Don't worry about overdoing it because, oh, I've got that over there. I can get rid of that. I'm just leaving that on here for a minute, and then once I've decided what I want, I can then blot a few little bits off. So we've got quite a nice bit of background. We're going to make this one dry again. Right. Now you could leave it like that, and that looks lovely. And I love how the colour intensifies in certain places. And look, can you see that little bit, especially there? Is that shimmering? Can you see that? Because it's a pearlescent ink pad. Love that. Okay, a little bit bendy. So I'm going to put it in an embossing folder. This is the tattered lace embossing folder, and it's the plaid. You can see it's smaller than what I'm doing. 2 cutting plates, and let's see how we get on with that. I'm putting it in my large plate to make it easier. There we go. I was going to try it on the smaller plates, but the machine didn't want it. It wanted the bigger plate. And there we go. Look at that. Now you could do your inking after you've done your embossing, but I like it before. Look at that, and look at that, all those cockles and bends in my card have gone. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Again, we could stop there if you wanted to, but we're not. I'm going to get my sophisticated paint station out, and I'm going to get my ink pads again, and this time I'm going to put them onto here, and this time I'm going to pick them up with a sparkle pen. So this one's from Crafter's Companion. You might have a Wink of Stella, whatever one you've got. So I'm just, instead of adding water, look at that, can you see it? You see it sparkling? And then I'm just going to splat. Just splat it out using my hand, nothing technical, just give it a little bit of splat. If you want, you could be really thrifty and pick up that ink. Right, so all I need to do is just flush that through a little bit to get rid of the green. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the peach. Now I know this is already pearlescent, but I want it to be properly pearlescent. It's just to give that little bit of shine. So pick that up, you can just give it a nice, there we go, look at that, lovely little splats coming through there. There we are. There we are. Right, let's clean that brush. There we are, and pick that up. I'm just going to give that a squirt. I know that's water, but it's your sparkle pens are water based, so I can clean those like that. There we go. So just what I can do actually, I will give it a quick blast. I'll just make that dry 1 minute. Very, very quick. It really doesn't take very long at all. So that is my backing paper. Look at that. Oh, I've got pretty hands. Pretty fingers. There we go. Oh, so that is going to go onto my card base, which I've just put down beside me. So if you wanted to, you could put some height on or whatever. I'm actually going to, I've done one exactly the same. You can see, look at this. Look at how that sparkles and shimmers. Isn't that absolutely glorious? So I've got another one here that I've done exactly the same, maybe not as much ink, but I've already put my foam pads on the back. So let's put these on. So I've got some green card. Out of the green card, I've used a stitch edge circle to cut that one out of. And then out of my peach card, I've got this one. These two cards are from Crafter's Companion Sunflower Collection. I just remember getting them out of the box for that, just in case you were looking where that colour had come from. So it's just linen card. I do like linen card. I'm definitely a linen card convert. So I'm just going to make sure the glue goes as far to the corners as I can. And you know what? I've still not gone and got my cloth back out of the cupboard from when I washed them last weekend. That's what happens when you try to be organised. Right, so there's the first layer on. Let's just give that a burnish. I did just glue down the partial edge just for a bit of speed, but also just because it's easier to get them glued down because they've got bits cut out. Next bit, sticks to foam tape. I love this one off that big wagon wheel of foam tape. You've seen that lots of times. And I can then just put a bit of glue on just across there, all the way across, just so that I've got some wiggle room. Work out which way round I want this to be. No, I think that was right. Put it that way round. So we're going 1/8 of an inch. Well, so it's yeah, 1/8 of an inch all the way round, so you can see just a nice little border. So we've got the white with the colour on, we've got the peach, we've got the white, the green. You know I like to put that extra layer in between. And onto there I'm going to put these. Now I haven't quite decided whether to nest them or to stagger them. I'm not going to decide until I've got, I quite like them staggered. I wanted a rectangle stitched edge, but I couldn't find one quickly, so I've gone with circles. So I might almost create my effect of my that I was looking for by staggering them. Let's wait and see. Okay, I won't stick those down. I'll show you what I'm going to do next. So the next thing I've done is I've got my echinacea cutting die. So this is a brilliant one if you want to do paper piecing, if you want to cut it out of black, gold, you create drop shadows, it looks lovely. But what we're going to do is we're going to give the illusion of a bit of faux paper piecing using our pens. So I have laid it onto a piece of card just like that, run it through my die cutting machine, and this is what you get once you've cut all the bits out. So absolutely gorgeous. All these bits pop out. If you want to keep them in, tape them in, then you can, but we've cut them out. So what I need to do next is glue that. Now can you see there's a slight colour difference? Very, very slight colours. This is whiter than this. This is alcohol marker paper. So alcohol pen paper, you know, for blending, and that's what we want to do. So I want to glue that onto there. So what you could do, you could potentially have used an adhesive sheet to do it, but I don't want to glue it all. So again, you could go in with your glue and do this, but I'm actually going to do it with my tape pen, my dotty tape pen, because the dotty only stays where it wants to. So I'm going to, wherever I think it's leaves, I'm not going to put the tape. I'm only going to put the tape on what I believe are the petals and the centres. So I'm just going around and I'm not gluing down. That's clearly leaf. Those aren't, that's the centre. So, oh, the stalk it needs. So I'll put that, and then I'm going to pop it on to here. Glue that down, burnish that down, and then I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to cut this one very roughly just to show you. Now look at this. This bit here is not stuck down at all. It's only stuck down in the centre. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to run it up to where it's stuck down, and I'm just going to cut underneath all the way around. I haven't got one cut out of white. I was going to do that and I didn't, so you're just going to have to bear with me. So I'm just going to undercut where I want the faux paper piecing to be. So it's really, and don't worry about it being uber neat. It's going to be on the back and no one's going to see. So long as you are you're cutting underneath or right on that white edge. So I'm just going to go around here, cut bits off as you need to. So that's all foliage, so I'm going to come round here. I tried drawing on a line, but I found it didn't do it. Now you can always go back and add a little bit more, cut a little bit more off at a later date if you want to. So I'm just going to come round here, all the way around here, because I believe all of these bits here are foliage or leaves rather than petals. So I'm going to come round there, then I'm going to come under here, and I'm just running my scissors along. I'll just do one side and then you'll get you'll see how I'm doing it for the other, and you'll see my finished one in a minute. So just undercutting, scissors at a nice angle, and then around we go. And like I say, always just cut bits off if it makes it easier, so it makes it easier to get in. So can you see we've got half of it covered and then half of it not? Can you see there, a little bit sticking out? Go in and cut it out. Then we can come back up here, just like that, all the way around, and then just keep cutting round like that, all the way around, and always an underneath cut. So you can see the angle of my scissors. It's a bit easier to see now. So just undercut at an angle. So like I say, doesn't have to be pretty on the back because no one is going to see it. And then I can come right under here because there's a lot of white there. And then this one's probably the hardest little bit to do, just around there. And then you just decide where you want. There's no right. You can actually undercut all of it if you wanted to. If you want to colour in the foliage green, then go for it. Right, so I will do that bit too. Once we've done that, we're going to colour it in. So as I said, I've used my alcohol paper, so I've got some alcohol pens. So green, the easiest bit. Now I love colouring things like this because it's so easy. You don't have to keep in the lines. So I'm going to colour on here. I want to colour it all, and if it goes on the white card it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do the flower bits here. I'm going to go on with gold brown. Now can I just say, when I was, oh look at that, I've just gone all over there, and it really doesn't matter. When I was prepping this, all I did was I called up, I looked up echinacea flowers. Now I know what echinacea is because I can actually see them in my garden from where I'm sitting. All I did was look at echinacea flowers, pictures, and then I worked out what colours I wanted. So tan blend, the dark one, TN4. I'm going to go all, just dotty ones all over here. Intent at the bottom, and then a bit lighter around the top. And then I'm going to go back to, I might could do a bit of burnt orange. Yeah, because quite a brown is that burnt orange. And this is one of those that you sort of have to do a few, it doesn't look right at first. And on there, and again, don't worry if it goes on to the onto the white, it really doesn't matter. So then I'm just coming in with all the different sorts of browns and colours just to get that look. So we're not doing any blending at all, but there you go. So that's how we're going to do that bit. Then the petals, I went, now how did I do this? So I went with burnt orange, that's right. Lightest burnt orange. If you're tall and sure, always use a bit of card. That was right. Burnt orange, and I'm going to go all over. And I will need it to go right into the corners. And because I've used my dotty tape pen, I don't need to worry about adhesive on here. So I'm going to go all over. I'm not going to do too many because I want the alcohol to still be a bit damp. Then I'm going to come in with my orange. Let's go a lighter one than that. And I'm just going to do flicks down. And then, because I looked at some echinacea flowers on like a Google image search, and they sort of, this is how they were. And then I'm going to go in with a red. Now my red is nearly dried out, and that actually is working really well for this because it's allowing me to do this sort of stripe effect. I need to go right up to there. I'm going to get the orange and come back in with the orange over the top with the stripes. It's almost like the veining on there. And then I'm going to get my burnt orange and I'm just going to go all over. So it just sort of blends that in. But again, don't worry if the pen goes over the white lines. We're just colouring nice and quickly. And we're going to go all over there. And we're not going to do any of the leaves because I've not put card underneath it. I'm going to do the other one. And then once we're done, because I've used my sparkle pen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my leaves and my petals, sorry, and I'm just going to go over my petals like that. Look at that. I'm not going to go over the centres, but I'm just going to go over my petals. And once you've done all of those, now it would just take a few minutes. I probably spent about 20 minutes taking it from that. Oh, I did go over the centre. I forgot. To this. So you can see we're coming from this. I've started there and I'm just doing all over, but I've left these open. I just thought it was a nice effect if you want to put those over. But look at this, there is orange on here, there is brown on here, so you think, oh, that's a bit of a mess, not the tidiest, but really it doesn't matter. But actually look at this, I can see a little bit of card under there and I don't like that. It's like I say, you can always go in and tidy it up afterwards. It doesn't have to be your first cut, doesn't have to be the final one. Okay, so we're going to leave it at that. So you can see underneath, it's caught all of there. It's nothing pretty. We've got that. But what I have actually done is I've cut it out another 2 times. And what we're going to do, so you go from that where the colours sort of blend. If we put another one on top, look at it pop. So you've got sort of a blur where the colours all end to a nice, clean effect. Makes such a difference, such a difference. So now this time we need dotty tape pen all over. We don't want to miss any bits. You could do your precision glue gun, that would, or glue press, that would work too. So I'm actually going, I've done the dotties, but I'm actually going to get a little bit of this. Now it's not a problem for glue because when I did this I didn't want any glue to ooze. So I'm actually just going to come in on some of the key points with my glue press as well. I can feel how tacky it is, but I just want to make sure I've not missed any bits. I'm just picking out some of these points because if these points are stuck down, then the inside will stay stuck down. It's not a problem. Let's just come around here. There we go. And just make sure all of the key points have got glue on. And then we can turn that over. And like I say, you've gone from bits where it's not very clean to as soon as you pop that on, it just absolutely pops. And I love that effect. Now, we're 2 thicknesses wide there. If you then want to, come on, level out, there we go, go over the top properly. If you want to do another one, it's going to give it a real sort of chipboard effect. The second one, the third one is totally optional. All over with your dotty tape pen. And again, like I say, you could use adhesive sheets on the back before you die cut it, if that's what you wanted to do. Yeah, it's entirely up to you. So let's just come across here, just adding in that little bit of extra adhesive where it really matters most. on there. Oh, I like to do a bit on here, and then on these bits, all the way just round the edges, just catching those. There we go. And then we're going to pop this onto here, so we've got proper depth and dimension. And you know what, I can still see two bits where the card underneath is poking out. One is just there, and I really don't like that sticking out, so I'm going to try and get it from underneath. There we go, that's better. So pop that onto there. Now look at that, it's a proper chipboard element, isn't it? It really has, it's so robust. I love that. So let's clear all these bits out of the way, and I can bring my card back in, and you can see where we were going with this. So there's my card, and we're going to, so we can have a play around. So we can go two on top of each other, and we can put that on there, and then on top of that we're going to put, I've got some leaves cut out of that green. I did have a sentiment that I have now completely lost. Where have I put the sentiment? There, it's right at the side of me. Okay, so we'll do that in a minute. Okay, so do I want these circled one on top of each other, or do I want them staggered? I think I quite like it sort of staggered. Looks a bit different, doesn't it? Or do I? Decisions. No, I'm going to put one on top of each other. I'm going to be traditional. I'm going to be traditional and do them one on top of each other. I've purposely picked circle sizes so that the flower sort of can hang over the edge. I didn't want it to be, I wanted it to be come right to the edge of the circle, so we can do that. Now I have cut a circle and I'm sticking it on a rectangle. Your natural thought would be to, because I've used a circle, to make my card base a square, because then it would sit in the middle, but I didn't want that. I didn't want that sort of symmetry. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pop it like that, so I've got a bigger gap at the bottom. So hopefully I've got the same gap at either side, but a bigger gap at the bottom. So we can, should we do, let's do a couple of foam pads on the back there. Not big foam pads, just some little, not big height foam pads is what I meant to say. So I can put one on there. Is this too big? Will this fit on here and be hidden? It's going to be seen. Let's just cut a bit off there. Let's just cut a bit off there. There we go. So it's hidden. That's all I need to put under there, and that'll hold nice and tight. I mean, some people put lots and lots of foam pads on, but I don't see the point. So that's going to go, let's go at a little bit of an angle, just like that, so that's still pointed up. Now you'll see I've cut some leaves, so all I'm going to do with my leaves is I'm going to pop a bit under there, and then I'm going to pop these coming out. Just thought it would be a little bit different because we've got the white foliage. Just need to make sure they're properly underneath. The white foliage on the die cut, and then I've got the green on there. I don't know if that's totally needed, but I quite like it just to break up the colours. Try not to make it too symmetrical. And then do I want to go down here? Let's go down there. There we go. So it's not symmetrical at all. Now I talked about my sentiment. I had this sentiment, and it was one of my sheets. It said, wishing you happy day and joyful moments. So I split it up. Then I've matte and laid it onto the orange and the green. And I'm going to pop that. We can put one there. Let's put them like that. So we're bringing things back down the card. I thought I would do it with 3D glue, just because it makes life easier sometimes. Oh, I knew I could feel myself. It's because I'm not using squeezy tweezers. I don't know why I'm not using squeezy tweezers. You know me, I love my squeezy. Let me get my squeezy tweezers. There they are. Oh, I can handle it a lot better. There we go. So let's go wishing you happy day and joyful moments. I know where I am with the squeezy. Isn't it weird how you get used to something, and I've got so used to doing things like sentiments with squeezy tweezers. I like that. Now we're just missing a few little bits. So when I was at Doncaster, I got these gems. They're like, I've forgotten what they called them. They're like little paint drops, aren't they? So I think I might use this sheet, and I'm going to definitely use these orange ones. So let's go with, yeah, one just there, because they really do pick out the orange from in here, don't they? Let's pick out, oh, where did that go? Are these the wrong tweezers? Am I doing this wrong? I'm losing some. There we are. I don't want to lose too many. I wanted a little one. Put a little one there. Let's do a big one. Ooh, don't want to lose it. There, that'll do. That's it. I'm just going to put those 4 on. There we go. Actually, that would look nice with clear gems as well. And there you go. That is my card. So it is sort of a faux paper piece. Why is my card not opening? There we go. Faux paper piecing. So I just thought it looked really lovely, adding in that sparkle, that colour. You could be any colour you wanted it to be. So I have, you know, really used I've made my inks match, my pens match, my card match, because you know me, I'm a bit of a coordinating girl. So yeah, absolutely love this. Bit of echinacea, faux paper piecing, and a bit of ink splat as well. So that was a bit of fun, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that as well. I will of course link down at the bottom to anything that I think you might find useful, and you can have a click on those links, including my buy me a coffee page, for anyone that wants to support my channel. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because every subscription really helps me. So until next time, I hope you've had an absolutely wonderful weekend. It's been lovely to share my makes with you, and I will see you again next week. So happy crafting, my friend, and bye for now.